What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Hope all you're having a great day so far today. Yeah, I know I'm mad late right now. It's been a busy day. Um, but getting into this episode of GH, Michael really needs to be mad at himself, and I think deep down that's really what he is. He should be mad at himself. He tried to play with the big boys. He tried to play a grown man game, and Scott literally handed him his ass. Michael thought he was winning, but Scott said, "No, no, 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 not in my house." Um, Michael is trying to put it out there to Willow that, oh, Nina played you, she used you, she manipulated you, and you played right into her hands. Nina had no idea Scott was going to use Willow to help her get out of this mess. She had no idea Scott even knew about her and Sonny. She didn't know about that. She never told him about that. You know what I mean? Like, Michael just wants to think the worst of her, when in reality, she didn't do that. You know what I mean? She didn't play Willow. Willow overheard a conversation. Scott found out about it, of course, through Obrecht. Michael doesn't know that. And he used it to his advantage to get his client out of jail or to get her out from under these charges. Everything Scott did in that courtroom was smart. I seen some comments from some people saying, oh, it was a weak plot point to use Willow. It was a necessary plot point. It was necessary because how else were they supposed to get this truth out there? Especially to get Nina out from under these charges. Everything Scott did in that courtroom was a masterclass in law. I mean, granted, none of this probably would happen in real life, but that's the whole beauty of TV. It's entertainment. And that's the way I see it. Entertainment. That's it. I'm not even going to compare it to real litigation. Ain't no point. Um, I feel like Scott handled it perfectly. He handled everything like a master. He did what he had to do to get his client out from under these charges. That was smart. You know what I'm saying? It was brilliant. By using, Michael's donation to the ADA as a way to manipulate the ADA into getting Willow on the stand, just so he could drill Willow with questions. It was smart. Everything in that courtroom, Scott manipulated and maneuvered everything in that courtroom like a chess piece on a chessboard. That was smart as shit. It's nothing that people like Alexis, Rick, Diane, it's nothing that any of them wouldn't have done. They all have done it in the courtroom. You know what I'm saying? When you're a smart attorney, you do what you have to do to get your client off, no matter the cost. And that's what Scott did. And I applaud Scott. That was brilliant. He wanted the situation to go his way, and he manipulated it to go his way. Smart. You ain't gonna get no. You ain't gonna get nothing else from me about it. It was smart. Um, and he got Sonny to do what he wanted him to do, which was to admit he was not a victim, and it was brilliant. You know what I'm saying? If you can get him on the witness stand and admit that he's not a victim, then therefore, out of his own mouth, then therefore there was no crime committed. It was smart. So now there's no reason for them to go to trial, and the charges against Nina can get dropped. Now all they got to do is sit back and wait for a judge to determine whether or not they have enough to move forward with a trial and criminal prosecution. But I mean, you heard it from Sonny's mouth that he was no victim. So I think the judge is definitely going to listen to that and take that into consideration. But I'm going to tell you right now, the look that Carly kept giving Nina and Sonny, if looks could kill, both of their asses would be dead right now. Like, even when Willow was still on the stand and Sonny kept trying to get Carly to leave, I loved the way Carly kept snatching away from him. She just said, get off of me. She said, no, I want to listen. I want to hear this. When she did all that, you knew Carly was not to be played with today. She was not to be played with. And the way she was looking at Nina, and then she shot over a look at Sonny, she looked like she would have put a bullet in both of their asses. She looked like she was ready to slap the shit out of both of them. And then when Sonny tried to look in her direction and she just did like this and looked away, Carly was too through. Like, her facial expressions, she didn't even have to use words today because her facial expressions told the whole damn story of how she felt. Hurt, anger, all these emotions rolled up in one, and you could just see it on her face. And then to have Sonny sit on that witness stand and admit that he fell in love with her and Nixon Falls, and Sonny tried to he tried to deflate. He tried to, run around the question that the judge was asking him about his relationship with Nina. And Sonny was like, oh, I had plenty of relationships with people in Nixon Falls, friendships. I love how the judge was not letting him off the hook with that. He said, no, 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 no. I'm not asking about your friendships with other people. I'm asking about you and Nina. That's what I'm asking you about. The judge was not giving Sonny no slack at all, no leeway. He said, listen, I just asked you about your relationship to her. I ain't asking you about the friendships around you. I'm asking specifically about you and her. I said, exactly. Answer the question, bro. Answer, please, and thank you. Soon as that judge said, listen, we're going to take a recess, I'm going to just, think about all of this stuff and I'll come back with a verdict. Carly could not get out that damn room fast enough. She could not. I don't know what's going to happen with them moving forward, but it's going to be a hell of a conversation. Because, Sonny had to finally stop her and let her know, like, listen, I need to talk to you. Let me explain. Carly was not here for it. She was like, listen, I don't even know who to listen to. She said, am I supposed to listen to Sonny or Mike or somebody completely different? Sonny got some explaining to do here, and I don't know how he gonna do it, but you better hurry up and do it. Because she ready to file them papers. I wouldn't be shocked, honestly. I just don't know how Carly and Sonny are gonna move past this. Because if he still has feelings for Nina, that's gonna be a problem moving forward. It really is. So anyway, moving on from that. It felt great. It looked great seeing Sean sit behind that desk at the Invader. I was so happy for him. I said, look at this. A black man going from prison to running a media company. Listen, I'm happy that they're giving Sean something to do, a career. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy. And, it looked good on him sit behind the desk, being all corporate, being your own boss and stuff. That was dope. And I'm glad that he going to do positive things with the Invader. But he was shocked, though, when TJ told him about Marshall. He was shocked. He was like, hold up, they daddy's still alive? And of course, Marshall come in there because he wanted to talk to Sean or the editor or whoever about, well, not necessarily Sean, but he wanted to talk to somebody about running some ad or whatever for his new band or whatever that he putting together. And once he found out who Sean was, he was not happy. He was not happy at all. I mean, honestly, I get where Sean coming. I mean, not Sean, but Marshall. I get that he's upset with Sean because of everything that happened in the past. But I also get where some people, I seen some comments on Twitter, and I get where some people were coming from. Like, who the hell is Marshall to be so upset when you weren't even around your family for all these years? But at this point, I'm not really going to judge Marshall for that because I don't even know what Marshall was up to all them years ago. He could have been into something dangerous. He could have been in witness protection. We don't know. So until I get the full story of where he been, I'm gonna reserve my judgment. But I get that he was upset because even Sean understood his anger because he told TJ, he was like, listen, if something were to happen to TJ, he would feel the same way Marshall was feeling. Same exact way. So he really couldn't blame him. But Marshall started taking a look at his own self and realizing like, well, if I was here, he could have helped his son with his PTSD and stuff. Because Sean was trying to let him know, like, listen, I didn't kill your son on purpose. It was basically a life and death situation. It was his life or my life. He was coming at me with a gun. I was just defending myself. It wasn't out of malice. You know what I'm saying? So I think once he said all that to him, that's when Marshall started to calm down and realize, like, damn, my son was in trouble and I wasn't here for him. He really started reflecting. But then he was having some type of little, conversation on the phone with somebody in his hotel room, talking about he following protocol and that he wasn't expecting to be gone for so long. I'm like, is he really in witness protection? It sounded like a witness protection conversation. I was like, I wonder if he was really in witness protection or not. I'm glad that Curtis did go to see him and stuff like that because Curtis do have a lot of questions about his dad. And Aunt Stella definitely know more than what she's saying. She definitely do because you could see it all up in her facial expressions. Like when Curtis mentioned that he made a discovery about his father, and you saw the look on Stella's face, she was looking like a little nervous because she thought that he found out something that they were trying to conceal. But when she found out, the only thing he found out was that his father loves music, she was relieved. Like she had this sense of relief over her face. I'm like, Stella, tell that boy what really happened back in the day. Because she was dodging some of the questions. Trying to come up with excuses, talking about your dad was a private person and he loved music and, he would give away some of their clothes and shoes because he was a generous person. Like he would give some needy kids, Curtis and Thomas's shoes and stuff, and it would piss their mother off because they were practically brand new stuff. But he would just go out and buy his kids more stuff, based off the gigs that he was doing. He was getting paid pretty nice. And Curtis just wants to, know more about his father. You know what I mean? But of course, Marshall ain't all that, forthcoming with information. So I totally get that. But I'm glad Curtis went to go see him because hopefully he can get something out of him. You know what I'm saying? And I do agree with Curtis. After all these years, he deserves some damn answers. Your daddy been gone for 40 years. Because if it was me, I would want answers. Like, where the hell have you been? Like, what are you up to? But I'm guessing the reason Marshall can't really, give him full disclosure is because whatever he went through all those years ago, he's basically kind of still going through now. So it's kind of hard for him to talk about when it's still an ongoing situation. But I'm leaning towards maybe witness protection with the way that he acting. It might be the case. So anyway, moving on from that, BLQ, I think when it's time for her to give little Louise up / Bailey back to Maxie, I think she's gonna have a hard time doing it. I think she really is, judging by her conversation with Chase today. It's gonna be hard for her to give her up because she has grown she's grown really attached, to the girl. She really has. So I wonder how that is gonna go down when she has to give her back. You know what I mean? And Chase was letting her know like this might be a permanent situation, depending on Peter. Whether he survives that coma or not, it might be permanent. And mind you, they were saying all of this stuff around Leo. And Leo, I don't know if he understood everything they were talking about, but the boy do know how to spell. So when they was using all these words and stuff like that, like he know what they saying. So I was like, y'all really talking about that around Leo? I was like, yeah, the boy might be autistic, but he know what the hell y'all saying. You might want to be careful because I got a feeling, he might just repeat what y'all done said. But I wish BLQ would just tell Chase how she feel about him. Because judging by the way he look at her, he feels the same way. Like he feels a connection and attraction to her. You know what I'm saying? And I hate when people don't communicate with each other. And I wish that she would just communicate how she feeling. Like tell that man how you feel. Like you want him, he want you. I'm pretty sure looking by the way he looking at you. Like the way they was looking at each other, you would think that they was about to get hot butt naked on the floor and start doing it on the kitchen floor. With the way that they was looking, I was like, BLQ just need to go tell him the truth. Like, go ahead and tell him how you feel. You know what I'm saying? What's the worst that he could say to you? No. And we all know chances are Chase ain't gonna say no. I hope he feel the same way about her because I like their chemistry. I think that they could be a hot couple together. And they definitely are an odd couple because Chase's personality is very different from BLQ's. And I think they kind of balance each other out. Her crazy, him being more laid back and more sensible, so they may just balance each other out. So anyway, moving on from that, I freaking love the scene between Ned and Olivia and the doctor. I'm glad that they now have confirmation that Leo is on the autism spectrum. I'm glad that they got confirmation on that. Because this is what Olivia has been trying to, run from. She was hoping that her son wasn't autistic, but it looks like he is, And I'm glad that the doctor was giving him all this information and stuff like that. That's really helpful. Whereas GH has a program that can help him. Plus, they can coordinate with his teachers at his school to where it will help him socialize better with, kids and adults around him and stuff like that to live a normal, happy life. Because the main thing Olivia and Ned were worried about was, will he be able to live a normal adult life? Like when he gets older, like will he be able to, live independently? Like if he wants to live on his own and stuff like that, will he be able to do that without assistance? And the doctor basically told him, yeah, he shouldn't have a problem. But they do have programs that will help him, and that's good. I'm glad that Ned and Olivia are getting this information, and, as much as she's sad by it, at least they know what they're dealing with, and at least there's, options out there for their son. You know what I mean? So I'm happy for them. And I think this is a brilliant story to tell. You know what I mean? It's a meaningful story because there's a lot of kids out there and a lot of families who are going what they're going through. So I'm glad. It's a relatable story. So anyway, moving on from that, I love the scene with Obrecht and Britt. Watching them today made me smile for the simple fact because when I was watching their scenes today, I was thinking about 2012 when they both came on the show, and Obrecht and Britt have come a long way as mother and daughter. They've come a long way. I remember when Obrecht first came on the show, she was so heartless, cold, like she did not have a maternal bone in her body. She was so off-putting, you know what I'm saying? Just so cold towards Britt. And Britt was, a witch. So I'm glad that they both softened up over the years and became human, but they still got their edge, you know what I mean? And they have a much better mother-daughter relationship than they had, prior. And it was funny that gift that she got her for Christmas, she signed her up for a dating service. I mean, the gift was, it was out of love. Obrecht did give it to her out of love, but I definitely feel where Britt is coming from. I mean, it's a little awkward. Your mama signing you up for a dating service, but she just wants Britt to find love and be happy. You know what I mean? I can't be mad at that. Um, and one day I think Britt will find happiness. Hopefully she'll find love. I hope they do set her up with somebody. I don't know who, but I wouldn't be mad at her and Drew though. If they did try to hook them up, I wouldn't be mad. I would have to see the chemistry first. But I wouldn't be mad. I mean, you could always do Britt and Sean maybe, try to chem test her with other guys, and see how that works. I definitely wouldn't be mad at that because there are a lot of options for Britt, or even if they want to kind of bring somebody new on for her, that would be cool too. There are some options. But anyway, that was pretty much the whole episode. Hit the comment section, let me know what you guys thought, and I will see you all later. Have a great night. Peace.